Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Mama June officially awarded custody of granddaughter, Kaitlyn. Mama June Shannon has been officially awarded custody of her granddaughter, Kaitlyn Shannon, after a battle with Michael Cardwell. Michael was her late daughter, Anna Cardwell's ex-husband, and the father of Anna's youngest daughter, Kaitlyn. Now the ultimate decision has been revealed. Keep reading for all of the details. Anna Cardwell did not want to think about her mortality, and that meant the custody of her daughter, Kaitlyn. Her father was never known, so arrangements needed to be made in the event of Anna's passing. She knew her youngest daughter, Kaitlyn, would go to her ex-husband, Michael Cardwell, so that was a good sense of security. Ultimately, Anna decided that she wanted her husband, Eldridge Tumney, to be the guardian of Kaitlyn. He had been in her life since 2017 and loved her as his own, which was the same as Michael. This did not work for Mama June, but it did not matter as Anna passed before the papers were filed. Immediately, Michael filed for custody of Kaitlyn as he claimed he had been paying for her education and had raised her since she was a baby. More so, it was important to keep the sisters together during this traumatic time. June alleged that he had been abusive, but he stated that she had been estranged from Anna for years. They finally faced off in court, but Kaitlyn allegedly wrote a letter stating she wanted to live with her grandmother. Now a decision has been made, and it is in June's favor. According to In Touch, Mama June was granted custody of Kaitlyn on Friday, September 20th, per the order. Legal and physical custody of the minor child is to remain with Mama June and will have no right to visitation as such, unless otherwise agreed to by the parties and the minor child. Kaitlyn's therapist also said she feared being taken from her grandmother. June, for her part, claimed that Anna would not rest until she had custody of Kaitlyn. That is now official. It was already suspected that Mama June had gotten custody of Kaitlyn based on a post from Michael Cardwell's fiancée, London Smith. She shared how their family had been ripped apart and they were learning how to deal with it. Rumors had flown that Eldridge Tumney took Kaitlyn to see Michael, London, and Kaitlyn behind June's back. London has vehemently denied this and said it never happened. As for what will happen between the sisters is unknown. Many fans did not think that they should have ever been separated or that Kaitlyn should be with Mama June. In a courtroom bustling with anticipation and hushed whispers, June Shannon, better known as Mama June, stood before the judge, her heart racing. After months of legal battles and uncertainty, the moment had finally arrived. The fate of her granddaughter, Kaitlyn, hung in the balance, and every eye in the room was fixed on her. Kaitlyn, a bright and lively 7-year-old with curly brown hair and sparkling blue eyes, sat beside her grandmother, fidgeting nervously in her seat. She looked up at June, searching for reassurance. Mama June reached down, intertwining her fingers with Kaitlyn's, giving her a gentle squeeze. In that moment, it was more than just a gesture of comfort. It was a promise that everything would be all right. The courtroom buzzed with a mixture of skepticism and hope. Many had their doubts about June's ability to provide a stable home, especially given her tumultuous past. Yet, over the past few months, June had shown significant changes in her life, dedicating herself to sobriety and rebuilding her family. This was her chance to prove everyone wrong, to show that she was more than just a reality TV star with a troubled history. As the judge entered, the chatter quieted down. The gavel struck, signaling the start of the proceedings. June took a deep breath, focusing on the task at hand. Her attorney, a sharp and dedicated woman named Marissa, stood beside her, ready to present their case. "Your Honor," Marissa began, her voice steady and clear, "we are here today to seek custody of Kaitlyn, a child who deserves a loving and stable home. Mama June has worked diligently to create a safe environment, and I can provide evidence of her progress." June's heart swelled with pride as Marissa outlined the steps she had taken over the past year. From enrolling in counseling to attending parenting classes, June had embraced every opportunity for growth. She had transformed her life, and now she was ready to embrace this new role as a responsible guardian. Kaitlyn's mother, Anna, had struggled with her own demons, and despite her love for her daughter, she was unable to provide the stability Kaitlyn needed. It was a difficult decision for Anna, one that weighed heavily on her heart. Yet, in a recent letter, she expressed her desire for June to take over guardianship, believing it was in Kaitlyn's best interest. Your Honor, Marissa continued, we also have a letter from Anna, stating her desire for June to gain custody. This demonstrates a willingness to prioritize Kaitlyn's well-being above all else. The judge nodded, acknowledging the weight of the letter. Thank you. I appreciate the context. However, I must consider the long-term stability of Kaitlyn's environment. June, can you speak to the changes you've made in your life? As the judge turned to her, June felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She stood, her voice trembling but determined. Your Honor, I know I've made mistakes in the past, but I'm not that person anymore. I've fought hard for my sobriety, and every day is a new chance for me. Kaitlyn deserves a chance at a happy childhood, and I promise to give her that. Her words hung in the air, genuine and heartfelt. The room was silent, every listener drawn into the sincerity of her plea. She shared stories of their time together, movie nights, baking cookies, and quiet afternoons spent coloring. These moments had become the foundation of their bond, a bond she was determined to strengthen. As she spoke, Kaitlyn leaned closer to her grandmother, a smile creeping across her face. It was evident that the little girl felt the love emanating from June, a love that had only grown during their time together. After a brief recess, the judge returned, a serious expression on his face. I've reviewed the evidence presented, as well as the letter from Anna. June, you've taken remarkable steps to change your life. It's clear you care deeply for Kaitlyn, and it is in her best interest to be raised in a loving environment. I am awarding you full custody of Kaitlyn. Cheers erupted from the gallery, tears of joy streaming down June's face. She turned to Kaitlyn, who was now jumping up and down in her seat, her joy contagious. June scooped her granddaughter into her arms, holding her tightly, both of them laughing and crying together. See? I told you we'd get through this. June exclaimed, wiping away her tears. We're a team, sweetheart. As they walked out of the courtroom hand in hand, the weight of the world felt lighter. This was a new beginning, one filled with promise and hope. The road ahead wouldn't be easy, there would still be challenges to face, but together they would navigate whatever came their way. Outside, the sun shone brightly, and June felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. She had fought hard for this moment, and now it was time to embrace her role as a grandmother fully. The bond she shared with Kaitlyn was precious, and she was determined to create a nurturing home where laughter echoed through the halls and love surrounded them. In the days that followed, Mama June and Kaitlyn settled into their new life. June decorated Kaitlyn's room with her favorite colors, pastel pinks and purples, and filled it with stuffed animals and fairy lights. They spent weekends exploring the local park, going on picnics, and trying out new recipes in the kitchen. June taught Kaitlyn how to bake cupcakes, and they spent afternoons covered in flour, giggling as they tried to make the perfect frosting. As they created memories, June reflected on her journey. The struggles she had faced had shaped her into a better person, and her love for Kaitlyn fueled her desire to keep moving forward. She knew that this was just the beginning, but with Kaitlyn by her side, she felt ready to face anything. Together, they embarked on a new chapter, one filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a brighter future. Mama June had not only regained custody of her granddaughter, she had found a renewed sense of purpose, and in that, they both thrived.